This started as a simple idea. If a potential client told me we're using AI, we're not really sure how we're governing it, what would I actually assess? So I was thinking to myself, I didn't want to just hand them a checklist. So I'm building an actual assessment, and that turns their answer into scores, identify gaps, and gives me something I can actually use in a real consulting conversation. And I'm building the first version entirely in Excel. I'm still building OJMMH. So I'm trying to develop practical tools instead of just talking about consulting services. For the structure, I'm using the 4 function of the NIST AI risk management framework: govern, map, measure, and manage. So to be clear, this is not an official NIST assessment, and it's not a compliance certification. It's my own readiness assessment inspired by that framework. So I'm breaking the workbook into 5 sections. The assessment holds the questions and responses. The scoring sheet calculates the results. The dashboard turns those results into something a busy executive can read in 10 seconds. Then a client test area and a reference sheet for the scoring rules and disclaimer. Okay, so we're gonna create my assessment. So let's, in the workbook, let's name it OJMMH AI Governance Assessment. Let's save this. Okay, so I went ahead and put on top in row 1 all the headers, and I already inputted the 5 I got assessment, scoring, dashboard, client test, and reference. So the next section is my question bank. So I've already developed the question bank, so I'm going to paste these in rather than having you watch me type in 32 questions. Yeah, so I'm going to have 8 per function. So govern, map, measure, and manage. So let's get started. So this is my question bank right now. 32 question, 8. So the next section, I'm going to put a response drop down. So I'm going to use data validation. The 4 option, it's going to be consistent language matters more than it sounds. If 2 people assess the same org, they should land in the same place. I'm going to have the response drop down have not in place, partially in place, established, and not applicable. All right. And that should be good, and hit OK. So now everything should have an option. If you go down, you have option. So yeah, that is the creating the response drop. All right, next we're going to do the score formula. So we're going to have not in place is 0, partially is 1, established is 2, now applicable returns nothing at all, and that matters in a second. So so let's test it out with the first one for formula response. I put not in place, we got 0. I put partially in place, we got 1. And I put established, we got 2, and not applicable, and we got nothing. So it's excluded. there is my scoring response. All right, next I'm gonna add my risk formula. So 0 is high, 1 is medium, and 2 is low. Go ahead and paste that in. Okay, so because I have my response drop-down set not in place, partially in place, established, and NA, it gives a response. So response, your score, and your risk. So next, I am going to add some conditional formatting for risk, so it can show the different color on the risk column, from high being red, medium being yellow, and low being green. All right, and so here we go. So first off, we're gonna highlight G2 all the way down to G33. So it's not ugly yellow. I guess I would do that. Yellow. And last one will be low. That would be green. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so now we will have different color code for high, medium, low. So if I went to my response and put partial, I'll get yellow. Not in place, get red. So I should get green. So there's my conditional formatting. So readiness percentage. So here's the part I actually thought hard about. If a question genuinely doesn't apply to a client, it shouldn't count against them. So NA is excluded from the denominator, not scored as a 0. Same for anything not yet answered. Otherwise, I'd be punishing a company for a question that was never relevant. And they'd be right not to trust the number. All right, now we're gonna build a dashboard. So from here, we'll go to the dashboard. All right, so I start with A1. Oh, just on 11. Well, this would pull the overall readiness percentage from the scoring sheet. And now it looks right. Okay, okay, that looks right. All right, next section, we're gonna create like a light chart, something simple, nothing crazy. You know, which area are strong, which area need work, so because I changed the numbers, changed the scoring, it's giving above because I want to change the overall status to show you that it's actually interactive and it's working when you're making changes. So yeah, here's kind of a rough draft of version 1 or my prototype. Okay, the next sheet I created is a client test. So pretty simple. So I Acme manufacturer. So I will throw them in there. Here's a profile. The company has 250 employees. Microsoft Copilot. Let's go to assessment. So when you go through each one, does the organization have a document policy governing the responsible use of AI? So based on what we have, they don't have a policy. So we'll switch it, not in place. And done. So not in place. So yeah, so this is kind of how the tool works. You change these little things, change the numbers, the scoring would update, and it was update the overall status, and the dashboard would change, and yeah. All right, and to end it off, the reference page. So OJMMH AI governance readiness assessment. So framework is an inspiration of NIST AI risk management framework, or AIRFM. Core function, govern, map, measure, manage. Assessment, 32 questions. Scoring, not in place, 0. Partially in place, 1. Established, 2. Not applicable, excluded. So maximum points is 64. And important to note, this is an OJMMH informational readiness assessment. So it is not an official NIST assessment, certification, or legal determination or compliance determination. So yeah, just wanted you to know that. So this version is version 1 of the assessment. Is definitely not a finish and not polished at all. So that's kind of the point. I started with a simple prototype, tested it, and turned it into something that produces a score, identify gaps, and give me a starting point for a real client conversation. The goal of OJMMH isn't to pretend I have everything figured out. I'm documenting the process of building the capability, testing it, and improving it. If you're interested in following the journey, subscribe. And I'm sharing the frameworks and lesson I'm developing over on LinkedIn as well. So next episode, I'll take this from a spreadsheet towards something a client would actually receive. So I'll see you in the next build. Catch you later. Bye.